Hello and welcome to the Mazda CX-3, more specifically the GT Sport model. So as you can imagine, it is a sportier setup than the standard car. This means you get 18-inch alloy wheels, a sporty body kit with silver accents, plus a black roof spoiler for the exterior. Inside there are seats trimmed in brown leather and suede, and also some carbon fibre effect details which look a little bit out of place if you ask me. Right, start up the engine. This has got a naturally aspirated 2-litre petrol engine, which has 118 brake horsepower with 204 Newton meters of torque. It's mated to a 6-speed manual gearbox, which has got a pretty decent change. It can feel a little bit loose at times, and I would want it to be a little bit more precise if I'm going to be fussy, but it is a decent gearbox. It will hit 62 miles per hour in 9 seconds, and the top speed is 119 miles per hour. This model is 2-wheel drive, so that's going to be more popular amongst SUV buyers. Let's be honest, how many SUV buyers opt for 4-wheel drive? But anyway, on to the CX-3. So, national speed limit, and see what the power's like. I'm in third. Power delivery is pretty good. The engine has got a good level of performance to it, but I must say, when you get it towards the top of the rev range, not a lot happens. The power has kind of run out, and all you get is extra noise, and it can be a little bit drony. But the engine itself is a good one. I do rather like it. As well as the engine tested here, there is also a choice of a 1.5 litre diesel, which offers 103 brake horsepower, and another 2 litre petrol, which offers 148 brake horsepower. Those looking for an automatic gearbox will need to get the diesel or the 2 litre engine tested here, but those looking for a 4-wheel drive can either choose from the diesel or the 148 brake horsepower 2 litre petrol. But when you're just cruising along, let me pop it into 6th. You can barely hear it. It just works away in the background, almost in a hushed silence. In regards to wind noise, I can't detect a lot of wind noise. It's a bit of tyre noise, but is it intrusive? No. And in fact, when I just be quiet for a few moments, you'll find that it's rather quiet in here. It's quite civilised. And the inside is tastefully finished. The top of the dashboard is a bit hard, if I'm going to be honest, but the brown leather helps to separate that, gives it a touch of class. We've also got the carbon fibre effect details, which I'm not too sure on. Brown leather on the door as well, but again, that is a little bit hard, if I'm going to be honest. But all the dials, they've got a nice touch to them. They work well, they're methodically laid out. There's not too many buttons on the dashboard, which is good. There's nothing I hate more than stepping into a car to find an army of buttons on it. These seats are rather comfortable. I've got heated seats, part of the GT Sport specification. How much does it cost? What do you get for your money? Well, the GT Sport is the range-topping model and is priced from £22,895. Standard features include 7-inch infotainment system, navigation, Bose sound system, Napa leather seats, heated front seats and steering wheel, climate control, head-up display, rear parking sensors with camera, to name a few. There is a good level of safety equipment as well, with standard features including autonomous emergency braking, lane departure and traffic sign recognition. However, don't worry if you can't quite cover the cost of this model, as the base model still comes with a good amount of kit and is priced from £19,045. The ride is on the firm side, and at lower speed you do find it to be rather jiggly, but when you're at faster speed, so for example I'm doing 47 now, this road is pretty smooth, it's pretty flat. I've got no issues whatsoever, but in and around town at lower speeds or roads that aren't quite so perfect, you will find the ride to be on the busy side. But on the plus side, it means that the car has got some decent handling to it. I'll tell you what, the brake pedal has got a lot of feedback to it, and the brakes themselves are pretty good. Right, spin it around this roundabout. Now, if I'm going to be honest, I would want the steering to be a little bit heavier, but the grip is good. There's not that much body roll. So from a drivability point of view, it is rather fun and it is rather dynamic. Yeah, see, on this road, the suspension is definitely more noticeable. Oh, my back is not settled in the seat, and I feel like I'm flopping about a bit, in all honesty. So I would want a bit more support from these rather comfortable seats. Oh, that's a bit of a thud. This car does feel nimble through the bends. It doesn't feel like I'm driving a big car. But let's face it, that's one of the attractions of cars such as this. It just feels like you're driving a normal hatchback. It's just a bigger car and you have a higher driving position. I've got a driver's seat that adjusts electronically, so finding a good driving position should be a piece of cake for any driver of any shape or any size. The steering wheel also adjusts for rake and reach, so again, it's easy to get a good driving position, and visibility is pretty good. Okay, I would say that the C-pillars are on the thick side, but other than that, I've got no problems at all with seeing out of the car. The front of the car is a nice place to be in, but can the same be said for the rear? Right, so let's get into the back of the CX-3. As always, the driver's seat has been altered for my 6'2" frame, and I'm sorry to report that the rear legroom is far from fantastic. The headroom, yes, that is agreeable, but the rear legroom is a little bit disappointing, to be honest. So taller passengers in the back may struggle, but obviously children and small adults will have no problems whatsoever. Headroom, fine. Legroom, not so good. But obviously, if I had a shorter driver in front of me, I would have more, of course. But either way, yes, I was expecting a little bit more. The boot isn't exactly massive either. With 287 litres on offer, it's smaller than rivals such as the Nissan Juke. Models without the Bose sound system get an increased capacity of 350 litres low, which is an improvement, but still a fair way off what the Renault Captur could offer you. But what about economy? Well, the 2-litre engine in the CX-3 is able to offer a combined figure of 47.9 miles to the gallon, and in regards to CO2, you're looking at 137 grams per kilometre. But what about the other engines? Well, the more powerful petrol unit will offer you 44.1 miles to the gallon with 150 grams per kilometre of CO2 emissions, but the diesel engine is able to offer a much improved 70.6 miles to the gallon with 105 grams per kilometre of CO2 emissions. So, the Mazda CX-3, it's a good looking car, it's got good handling, the engine is pretty decent, and it's fun to drive. The gear change could be a little bit better, and some may want a slightly softer setup in regards to the suspension, but let's not forget this is a GT Sport model, so it's made to, well, have a sportier setup. I'm going to end it there, guys. I hope you have enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a thumbs up, and please subscribe for more car obsession.